They have finally made their decision. Barcelona have finally decided what contract extension they're willing to offer to Lewandowski. And let me just tell you this, it's likely he doesn't accept it. You see, in these last couple of months, Barcelona have been undecided as to what to do with Robert Lewandowski. Should they renew his contract? Should they let him go? Should they extend for maybe just one more season, hoping that he might still score some important goals for Barcelona and be pivotal to their career? All of these questions surrounded Barcelona for months. They weren't fully sure what to do with him. But surely enough, Robert Lewandowski would begin to score more goals for Barcelona, especially in crucial matches, securing not only his future at Barcelona, but convincing even the club of renewing him. As a result, the club gathered together with Robert Lewandowski and laid out their plan for him to stay for one more season, hoping that he would accept in light of Barcelona's hopes of winning the Champions League. Everybody thought that Lewandowski would say yes to extending for one more season, and yes to finally winning the Champions League. But instead, what Robert Lewandowski has expressed is pure discontent. Not only is he not happy with the new contract, but if he doesn't accept it, then this could be the final goodbye between Barcelona and Robert Lewandowski. Right now, Lewandowski has everything laid out for him. Play at the best club in the world, with the best players, with the best manager, capable of even winning it all. But it all depends on whether Robert Lewandowski will say yes to that contract. It'll be a tough couple of months coming.
So let me get this straight, bro. At the start of the season, all the sensations with Marcus Rashford were good. Every Barcelona fan fell in love with Marcus Rashford, with his speed, with his passes, with his goals. Everything about Marcus Rashford was top quality. We all wanted him to stay. But then as the season gradually prolongs, Marcus Rashford begins to play less and less for Barcelona. As Rafinha, the more healthier that he gets, the more goals that he scores, the more assists that he gets, the less that Marcus Rashford plays for Barcelona. And then we arrive at the midpoint of the season and things are a bit unclear as to whether Barcelona are going to keep Marcus Rashford. But yet, a lot of Barcelona fans still want to keep Marcus Rashford. So Barcelona reached out to Manchester United over the negotiation with Rashford. United asked for 30 million euros for Barcelona to sign the best English winger in the world. And all the sensations seem good right now. Barcelona seem like they are actually going to sign Rashford. But then the Champions League quarterfinals comes about. And in these Champions League quarterfinals, which are two games by the way, in which Barcelona played with 10 men across both legs, Marcus Rashford misses a couple chances in front of goal. Marcus Rashford doesn't technically step up by scoring those goals that Barcelona were asking him to do. And now you mean to tell me that after everything indicated that Marcus Rashford was going to sign for Barcelona for 30 million euros, that now simply because of those two Champions League matches, Barcelona have now decided that they do not want to keep Marcus Rashford. The indecisiveness at Barcelona is one of the reasons why this club has not won a Champions League. The club cannot decide who they want. The club cannot decide who they want to sign. The club cannot decide which player is good for which position, which player is good for the striker, which player is good for the wing, which player is good for the midfield. The club cannot decide on anything. How does the team go from wanting to keep Rashford? How does Hansi Flick go from wanting to keep Marcus Rashford to then all of a sudden it seems now that the club aren't even going to keep him? I think that Barcelona needs to make up their mind once and for all, have a clear idea and go for that idea and stop changing the narrative so many times. It's crazy. But
Barcelona have gone from wanting to sign Julián Álvarez to then inquiring about Erling Haaland, looking at the names of Victor Osimhen, to then wanting to renew Robert Lewandowski. And finally, when it seemed that Barcelona weren't going to have a new striker for the next season, they now want to sign the top goal scorer in La Liga. And I'm not talking about Mbappe. I'm talking about Muriqi. I know what you're thinking. Muriqi, who is this guy? Let me tell you, you might not know him now, but soon enough, you will know his name. Because this brother in Christ isn't only going to finish as La Liga's top goal scorer, but he has already surpassed many world-class players. At 18 goals, he already has more goals than Luis Diaz, Lautaro Martinez, Lamine Yamal, Vinicius Jr., even Julián Álvarez himself, and believe it or not, Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembélé. Muriqi is his name, ladies and gentlemen. This season so far, he's already bagged up a total of 21 goals with his club Mallorca, only 2 goals away from Kylian Mbappe, who has more penalty goals scored than Muriqi himself, meaning that Muriqi actually has more goals from open play than Kylian Mbappe. On top of this, we have to keep in mind that Muriqi is doing all of this with a relegating side Mallorca, while Mbappe, Julián Álvarez, Dembélé, Lamine Yamal, Luis Diaz, and many others are doing it with world-class teams. Just imagine what he'll be doing if he's playing for FC Barcelona. Obviously, it's not the preferable option. I'm not arguing that Barcelona should go for Muriqi, but if they do, we should expect a lot of goals. That's all I'm saying, please. What? Rafael Leão to Barcelona. Rafael Leão to Barcelona. Out of all the players that Barcelona were scouting, from Marcus Rashford to Musa to even Nico Williams, The name that again pops up in Barcelona is none other than Rafael Leão. But you know what? This could actually be a good option for the club. Valued at only 50 million euros, Rafael Leão has made it absolutely clear that he no longer wants to continue at AC Milan. His intention is clear. He wants to leave the club at the end of the season. And so far, Barcelona seems to be his preferable destination. This season alone in the Serie A, after 24 matches, Rafael Leão has bagged a total of 9 goals and 2 assists, playing mainly as a striker, but occasionally being moved to that left wing position. Now, if Barcelona should go for Rafael Leão, we should just make it absolutely clear that he must take a wage cut. I mean, with what he likely makes at AC Milan, it would pretty much make it impossible for Barcelona to sign him. But should he take this wage cut, I could foresee a duo with Lamine Yamal and Rafael Leão. It wouldn't be bad. But I also don't think that this is the preferable option right now. I think that as of right now, this could be one of the alternative options that Barcelona are looking at in case they fail to sign, say, Julián Álvarez. But still, again, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad option, just not my main option.
So let me get this straight, bro. You're FC Barcelona, one of the best teams of all time. But in these last couple of years, you've been struggling with one particular thing, winning the Champions League. And you try to lay out everything, try to identify what the problem is. Where's the mole? What's causing Barcelona to not win this beautiful trophy called the Champions League? So you look at everything and you identify that there is one significant problem. Your strikers haven't been in the best form. Lewandowski is slowly coming to the end of his career and Ferran Torres is simply not reliable. So what do? Well, recognizing the problem, you come to the agreement that in order to win the Champions League, you need to sign a world-class striker. So you look at all of the options available, from Julián Álvarez to Haaland to even Victor Osimhen. And then what do? Well, you first make the attempt to sign Julián Álvarez, but soon realize that that deal is simply far too gone. Then you look at Haaland and how much he asked for, and that simply scares you away. Then finally, every single Barcelona fan points you to Victor Osimhen, one of the best strikers in the world, a natural number 9 striker. He's fast, he's agile, he has a high jump reach, but somehow you don't even inquire about it. And you mean to tell me, Barcelona, that after you've identified the problem at Barcelona, after you've looked at all of the options available, that you have now made the ridiculous decision to try and sign Alexander Sørloth? What are we actually doing, Barcelona? How on earth do you ever plan to win the Champions League, to win the biggest trophy at a club level in the world with Sørloth and Ferran Torres as the striker partnership? Just imagine the face of Lamine Yamal right now. Just imagine the face of Rafinha right now. Just imagine the face of Pedri after running back and forth like a maniac for Barcelona in the midfield to then having to play long balls to Sørloth and Ferran Torres and rely on them against teams like PSG, like Bayern Munich, like Arsenal, like Real Madrid, like all the top teams in the Champions League. What are we actually doing to ourselves? If Barcelona end up going for Sørloth, I'm telling you right now, we might as well kiss goodbye to the Champions League for another 15 years. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Barcelona are now one step away from finally completing the Spotify Camp Nou. And looking at these images as a Barcelona fan, I can't help but remember everything that the club has had to undergo for the sake of playing in this stadium. From having to play at the Montjuic Stadium, to playing at the Johan Cruyff Stadium, to even having to beg La Liga to schedule all their first 3 matches of the season away from home so that they could finalize the Camp Nou. But then even having to go back to the Montjuic Stadium all over again. And look, I'm not necessarily complaining about these stadiums, but having to play at a stadium that only fits 6,000 capacity is a huge knock to the club. So when I hear that the club are almost done with the final 3rd tier section of the stadium, I can't help but remember everything that the club has had to undergo. And even from the construction of the 3rd tier, seeing how it looked a couple months ago, to how it was looking as they were constructing it, and seeing how it looks now, this just brings a smile to our faces. All that is left to do is to waterproof the area and to install the seats, and soon enough, Barcelona will begin to allow 70,000 and even 80,000 people by the end of the year. I'm telling you, this will be the best stadium in the world. Drop a follow and let me know what you think.